The 2006 season is one of the more interesting ones in my opinion. At this point, NASCAR was still at its peak in terms of popularity, and a lot of contenders from the previous season's chase missed this one. But for this season in particular, we're gonna look back at what if. What if NASCAR had F1 points in 2006? And before we dive into any season, we obviously have to go over the point system. Back in 2006, only the top 8 were given points. Plus, there's not much separation from the podium spots all the way down from 4th to 8th, so this one's gonna be very close.
Keep pedaling it, man. Keep pedaling. Clear by 4.
That's exactly crash behind him. Crash behind him. The caution is out, the race is over. Jimmie Johnson has won the Daytona 500.
You are my hero!
With his car owner watching here at the track and his crew chief watching at home, Jimmie Johnson wins his first Daytona 500 victory.
Tire cars racing up 3 wide in the middle of the pack as Matt Kenseth comes off turn number 4 ahead of Jimmie Johnson, and Kenseth wins the Auto Club 500.
Man, they're coming across. Five wide on the apron. And the most amazing thing about it is they all made it.
They did. You see Kyle Busch finishes 10th in the 5 car for the first time.
Matt Kenseth started 31st today. That is the furthest any winner has come through the field at California Speedway.
He drives real bad down there, right in the middle of 1 and 2 and off. Kyle got on the outside a little bit too much.
And here comes Junior to the inside.
Big Orange, Tony Stewart gets the win.
And Kyle Busch got loose. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will beat him back to the line for 4.
Well, it was a good race for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
It was that.
High fives all around as Tony Stewart, who had not won since Watkins Glen last August, earns his 25th career NEXTEL Cup victory.
All he needs to do is get through turn 3 and 4 one more time.
And Kasey Kahne will become the 2nd Dodge to win here. The first man to win from the front row, the 11th different winner at Texas, Kasey Kahne wins the Samsung Radio Shack 500. Second win of 2006 for Kasey Kahne, who with this same car won at Atlanta from the pole.
They can't get the car running.
Take the white flag but won't make it back.
Use all you want now. Come on, bring her down. Bring her down.
Kevin Harvick for the first time since Bristol is a winner.
Back to back. She ate up some asphalt tonight, didn't you, baby?
Yes, sir. He is the king of burnouts.
Only 9 races in, and Jimmie Johnson has already shown he can become a true championship caliber driver. He already has the points lead by 8 over Matt Kenseth so far, while Tony Stewart continues to creep in. Many in the sport and the media view those 3 as the championship favorites, but 2 other dark horses that have won some races in the first quarter were Kasey Kahne and Kevin Harvick. Despite a tough start to the 2006 season, those 2 gathered up enough points to garner 4th and 5th place spots respectively towards the end of quarter 1. At any moment, this championship could bust wide open.
Kasey Kahne leading this train on the final lap.
Here he comes.
Engine number 9 brings it to the finish line. Kasey Kahne wins the Coke 600. A winner at Texas, at Atlanta.
Whoa there, buddy. Whoa now.
And now at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Give me that flag.
4 career victories. 3 of them this year, all on the 1.5-mile cookie cutter oval. How about that?
The flying 9. Kenseth's car was just too good.
Matt Kenseth can make it off turn 3 and 4. He's going to chop into that points lead of Jimmie Johnson.
Yeah, that's a great job on the Matt's part. Way to go, Matt.
Loose off 4, but Matt Kenseth wins the neighborhood excellence 400.
And Jimmie Johnson comes home 6th. That's amazing.
From 19th starting position, Kenseth the winner, and Jamie McMurray drove his heart out and got his best race of the season.
A white flag lap.
We took the white flag. We took the white flag.
The field is frozen at the moment of caution. The yellow flag waves as they come toward the finish line. Tony Stewart and the Home Depot Chevrolet will score the second win of 2006 and the 26th career victory for Stewart.
Once we reach the halfway point of the season, it's getting closer and closer amongst the top four. Jimmie Johnson's second quarter wasn't as good as his first quarter, but it was still good enough to hold the points lead. Just a 2-point margin over Matt Kenseth's 69 points. Nice. Kenseth's been able to capitalize in some areas when Jimmie Johnson hasn't, but in third place still remains Tony Stewart, who at this point in the season is starting to become known more for his antics on the track and also winning at the same time. The most consistent thing about the 2006 season has been those three sitting 1, 2, 3. A 12-point cushion amongst the top three has kept this championship fight close, but not sitting too far back remains Kasey Kahne, who continues to win races but is just not consistent enough to get inside the top three, and Jeff Gordon having a mid-season turnaround after getting off to a slow start in his season.
Gordon and Greg Biffle got together.
Still the white flag is out. Johnson off of turn 4. Checkered flag is in the air. Jimmie Johnson from California wins at Indianapolis, and the caution is out. The race is over. There are 15 scoring loops around the track. They will determine the final positions. Jimmie Johnson has won. He spun back there. Kevin Harvick coming off the final turn. He can see the checkered flag. Kevin Harvick wins at the Glen. His first road course victory. His previous best here was a 5th in 2003. His 5th consecutive top 5 finish. 7th of his career and his 2nd win of the 2006 season.
Really good job there. Here he goes.
Matt Kenseth wins the Sharping 500.
Kenseth might have held on for that spot.
You guys are awesome.
Matt Kenseth celebrating on the front stretch with his crew after the burnout. There's the victory leap. He's got to get to victory lane. We'll catch up with him there when we come back to Bristol. Earnhardt goes to second. Kasey Kahne comes off of turn 4. He won last night in the Busch race. Kasey Kahne sweeps at California.
27 races into the season, and the championship was looking a lot different. Matt Kenseth had finally taken that next step to becoming the points leader, all while Kevin Harvick went on this miracle run in the third quarter of the 2006 season to Gardner 2nd in the standings. Johnson and Stewart weren't too far behind, as well as Kahne and Gordon still lurking in. But in the end, not everybody can compete for the championship. Right now on the screen are positions 4th through 10th in the final point standings for 2006. Kevin Harvick ends up 4th, followed by Kasey Kahne just 2 points behind. Meanwhile, Gordon, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin make up the rest of the top 10. The 3 drivers who are competing for the championship are going to be Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, and Jimmie Johnson. These 3 might have set the tone from the start of the season, but they didn't kick it up a notch until the final quarter of 2006. Matt Kenseth's consistency might have been good throughout most of the season, but by the final quarter, Tony Stewart and Jimmie Johnson had already won multiple races. And when they weren't able to win any races, they were still able to capitalize and finished at least in the points. This meant that with 3 races left in the season, all 3 would be only 1 point spread apart. Kenseth might have been consistent all season, but he wasn't when it mattered the most. With just 3 races left at Texas, the worst case scenario happened. He finished outside the points after multiple mechanical failures and handling issues did him in at Texas. Tony Stewart and Jimmie Johnson did not miss a single beat and actually ended up finishing 1-2. The final tally, with just 2 races left in the season, Tony Stewart just 1 point over Jimmie Johnson. Many are witnessing perhaps one of the greatest late season championship runs in NASCAR history up to this point. For all of the on and off track controversies that took place in 2006, Tony Stewart and the Home Depot team seem to be peaking at the right moment, while Jimmie Johnson and the Lowe's team need to figure something out within these final 2 races. The next race at Phoenix served to be perhaps the championship decider now that we look back on it. Tony Stewart unfortunately wasn't able to finish in the points, and with Matt Kenseth not being able to either, he was officially out of the championship running, leaving just Jimmie Johnson and Tony Stewart to duke it out in the final race at Homestead. The runner-up finish gave Jimmie Johnson a 7-point gap entering Homestead, but in terms of championship battles, this would turn out to be one of the most anticlimactic championship fights in NASCAR history. What I mean by that is Tony Stewart started way in the back while Jimmie Johnson started in the midfield. This meant that the 48 team really didn't need to do a whole lot of racing that day. Tony Stewart's team missed the setup entirely, which meant that Jimmie Johnson just needed to ride around barely in the points all day just to stay safe in the championship. Tony Stewart was only in the points for a small portion of that day, while Jimmie Johnson was rolling around in the points towards the end of the race, meaning that Jimmie Johnson would clinch the 2006 championship no problem.
Greg Biffle goes 3 in a row at Homestead, and Jimmie Johnson is the 2006 NASCAR NEXTEL Cup Series champion.
Like I said earlier, Phoenix was basically the championship decider. Jimmie Johnson would take home his first ever NASCAR Cup Series championship by just 7 points over Tony Stewart. Matt Kenseth, while he was the most consistent driver throughout the season, was not consistent when it mattered the most and wound up 3rd, just 13 points back. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.